Hey, welcome to the Ring Review. You know who I am. I'm Mr. Smith. But we got a special guest in the building, people. Yo, it's the one, the only, Annie O'Neal.
What's up?
Yo, and you know, I just got to let him introduce himself.
It's the one, the only, Your Royal Highness, King Midas in the building. And what we talking about today, Mission?
Hey, man, we're talking about something that was historic. Something that was something we all been waiting on, I think. Raw is officially on Netflix. What did y'all think about that first episode? Andy, we're gonna let you jump in. What did you think about that first episode?
It was truly a point in time where I saw so many things that will forever cement themselves in my memory. There were so many different things that even if you were watching from home, it felt like you were actually there. Like the drone footage and how it panned across the stadium.
Ooh, that's my new favorite camera right there.
I thought it was amazing because like it broke this dimensional wall.
Yeah.
And it allowed us to feel like we were there. Like
it almost made WWE finally feel larger than life.
And
because we were in the eyes of a drone and we could see the vastness that close.
Exactly.
And it's like,
what I'm gonna say about the drone is this: if you're gonna be at a live show from now on and they got this drone shot, know you're gonna be on TV. So dress appropriately.
Right, everybody. It's no more. Can you see me up top?
No,
you might be front and center.
You might be the first person we see.
Right.
So
dress appropriately and be ready to be on TV. Because I feel like now it's not did I get on TV? It's how many times did I get on TV? Because that drone was just all over the place. It was sometimes it just right after the bell, it went right into the drone footage, and it did. And it was just like, okay,
no,
all right.
I want to say this. I hope that there is in the future WWE game some sort of mechanic where there can be like a drone camera, like where you can get like different angles that way. I mean, I feel like they have to now.
I mean, because you can't just limit it to one drone. You need like at least you need all different
in
points.
A big old stadium like that.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say this though, and I'm not to push it forward from Netflix because Netflix is very important, but I'm interested to see what drone footage is gonna look like at Royal Rumble. Yeah, but we'll get there.
Well, no, they do drone footage. But I kind of like the flying Rome one.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be special for
But I
Raw,
feel like
just like Raw has that.
I know, but I feel like
now.
WWE is like the way they work is all right. Everybody loves it, so we just gonna do it everywhere. But we're gonna see how they cook up because they already got like 150 cameras.
Yeah, but then you also have to remember Raw does now has a distinct look now.
Yeah,
Raw looks vastly different from
beyond
as far as a visual aesthetic.
Beyond
with
drone
with the ring, the announce table, with the little logo on the mic.
Let's talk about the announce table. That boy's sweet.
Yeah,
that's
super cool.
And that's what I mean.
Like looks like a race car.
That's the best announce table they've had. But I was gonna say the footage of when they're walking down the aisle. So you remember when the Rock came down and how that was and how cinematic that looked? I was like, that's okay, WWE. That's sweet. Y'all are sweet.
Yeah, and if they do, I think it may be reserved for the bigger shows now.
I agree.
That's why I said Royal Rumble is going to be a
next
pool.
point, like, do you think SmackDown will reflect the same kind of changes that makes Raw look more
I feel
distinct?
sorry for SmackDown after Raw goes to Netflix because now it's like, I feel like they're deliberately put more money into Raw.
Do you think SmackDown just became the B-side?
Yeah,
well,
it did. Absolutely.
I just think now they have an ability to make both products look and feel different. And so...
As they should.
Yeah, and so this is another challenge because, they changed the ref shirts, but even the mat looking different
It looks crisp.
and I
It
just
looks
feel
crisp.
like
Even more legitimate.
mm-hmm.
It's not just. It's focusing more on the sports part of the sports
Right.
entertainment.
And the other thing I'm looking at also is SmackDown. Yeah, it's on a worldwide stage, but not on the same level as
Raw.
Raw,
'cause you're
because
still
Raw
limited-
is on Netflix.
Because
Raw.
you're still limited to people who have cable.
But
Exactly.
Raw now that Matt is black.
Mhm.
So I feel like we're gonna see a lot of blood in the future because now you're gonna see the blood on the mat. I think that was purpose. I think we about to.
But
see.
not only that is also to make sure that you saw those advertisements, because you got to remember, I think Raw is going to be what WWE is going to look like with the UFC touch to it.
Especially
That's
with
also
that
why with the
merger.
and then with
Right.
all of the and this is the point that I wanted to make too, because this was the only thing that I did not like that happened on Monday Night Raw. I can't remember. I think it was last week, but when they was going around doing the whole celebrity thing like they do at the UFC,
Yeah.
like this is the celebrity.
Yeah.
I know WWE's done it.
I didn't draw that parallel.
And then they had the audacity to show Topanga, Daniel Fisher,
Yeah.
right next to Will Friedle.
And they cut his face off.
No,
They didn't.
no,
They just didn't
it
mention
was
him.
worse. He wasn't mentioned. So not only did they not mention him,
That's what that
they
was. About
then
Will Friedle was.
proceeded
Okay.
to show every other celebrity
Yeah.
within face shot. So
It was
every
Batman.
other
How do you cut off Batman?
exactly. So when every other celebrity
Yeah.
that was sitting, like Daniel Fisher was here, Will Friedle was here, so it's like the aisle seat right here.
What?
And then the camera. So when the camera was here, he was right there, and all of them
Well,
smiling.
when they
and I'm
said
like,
it, when they said her name, he looked at her like, I guess they ain't gonna announce me.
Okay.
And-
Yeah, I love me some Topanga. Okay, we'll not get it. Well, that's a different show. But
love that show.
Eric Matthews, Beanie.
Yes. Look,
Come
see,
on.
I had one of the best moments of my life because this is a step a little bit away from wrestling. Well, but to be fair, they had wrestling episodes. You know, Vader was a guest
Vader
star.
was the kid's
Yeah,
father.
the kid's father
the
on
big
Boy,
guy.
the
Yeah.
bully's father
Yeah.
on Boy Meets
Yeah.
World, and so there's a wrestling connection.
Yeah.
But Comic-Con a few years ago, Will Friedle was there, and I went there, and like that's my way. I gotta get some autographs. So he was there. I got in line, and you know how you can choose people's pictures or whatever. So of course, the picture I chose was Will Friedle's character and Mr. Feeney at the gate, and what he did was when he signed it, and I chose it. I didn't say anything. He just saw what I chose, and then he wrote a little speaking bubble, and then he said, as he's writing it, Mr. Hina, and I was like,
He did it. He did the thing.
he did. I was
No, so about his character on Boy Meets World,
yeah,
greatest dumb kid ever, right?
yes,
Right, like the stuff he would say and the questions he would have, he'd be like, really?
But,
But-
he was also like a philosopher.
All right,
Yes.
I know.
Like,
That's
how
why I
someone
said
such
greatest
an
dumb kid
idiot
ever. That's so great.
It's so profound.
I feel like I learned more from Eric Matthews than Corey.
No, but well, Corey. Oh man, we can get it. That's another episode. But
Yeah.
yeah, speaking of,
Don't
You know
get me
what?
started on
Speaking-
Corey.
We go. That's gonna be a whole nother
yeah, that's a whole
show.
other thing. You
That's
know
what
what?
it
Stay
is.
tuned because
Because that's a great
listen,
episode.
because me and Annie have a show coming. It's called The Exclusives, and we're gonna get into stuff like that on The Exclusives. So stay tuned and stay tuned because this year the first really live night show for independent wrestling in my eyes and my brain. King Midas is going to have a show this year, so stay tuned. All right, now, speaking of celebrities, the greatest celebrity pull up for me is Home Alone. Macaulay
Yeah.
Culkin. Baby, the way he did the hat and revealed it was
I
him,
screamed.
I was like, that's the
Screamed.
greatest. Hey, he
I
got wrestling.
screamed.
He got wrestling, bro. He understand this. He got wrestling. When he did that, it's like
I
an
think
Undertaker moment.
I think there was a celebrity moment that I kind of liked a little bit more just because of the activity that was taking place when Travis Scott entrance came on, and when it first cut to him, I was like, "What is that in his hand?" because I couldn't fathom that I just saw what I think I just saw. Because I was like, did I just see what I saw? And when it cut back, he was out. When he was smoking, I was like,
he's smoking.
He on Monday Night Raw.
In my head, I heard the ghosts of wrestling past just lose their minds.
Yes.
Like that's a
Yes.
I feel like this. I want to shout out somebody because I feel like now you got to pull up Unk. I now know that WWE is okay with it. So Godfather needs to pull up with Travis Scott.
Hold on. Will you now Mission. You know what? I gotta call Mission out on this because for some reason, Mission has not even acknowledged the fact that not only has he interviewed the Godfather for the Ring Review, but somebody else in this room has also had that privilege.
Yeah, so we got the chance. SummerSlam, let's talk about it. Last year, SummerSlam, we got to kick it with my Uncle Charles, y'all, the Godfather. Actually, everybody in this room has touched base with this man. And everybody in this room could tell you a great story about this man. Ain't that right, Annie?
I sure can.
So, listen, shout out to you, Godfather. Look, we're going to tag you. We're going to tell everybody, look, you're one of the greatest legends ever because you're so down to earth and you gave every single person in this room a moment with you, and we appreciate it. Let's touch on it. How was it meeting the Godfather?
It was honestly very surreal.
Yeah.
Like, someone who has walked the paths that he has, he's just like your friend.
Yeah.
Like like your long lost friend being reacquainted.
Yeah.
Just one of those souls that feels like they've been present forever.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just personable, not only to the people who are working the show at Frontline Pro. What's up, Ben McCoy?
There you go. Shout out.
He made everyone feel like that. Anyone who came through his autograph line.
Let me tell you, that's exactly how it happened because I seen him at a couple astronomical cons. We talked until it got to the point where we were at WrestleMania, me and Rich in Philly. We were at WrestleMania 40's WrestleCon, and he just said, "Man, forget that line. Come here, guys." And then he was like, "When you're ready for me to be on your podcast, give me a call." A couple of days later, he was on our podcast. Shout out to him making that great moment happen. But we got to kick it with him in SummerSlam too, because that was another WrestleCon. But he wasn't at WrestleCon. We traveled an hour away to go see him. So that was the.
I don't even remember what part of Ohio it was. About
we gonna pull up on Uncle Charles
where we were.
Okay.
But was that some sort of trade center?
Yeah, another fan-based event where he, did what he does best, and that's interact with the fans. So shout out to him. Now, Raw was wrong, right? Because you had Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns first, and I'm like, if this is first, what else you got? Cause if you lead off with that, you gotta finish strong.
I think they should have. Thinking about it in reverse, I feel like maybe they should have swapped the main event.
I get it.
And had that be.
I get it, but I think The Rock had to pull up and pull off.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense.
Not only that, but
okay.
I was watching, this was on TikTok, and one of the videos popped up. It might have been Bubba Ray's podcast. And he was talking about the kind of significance of CM Punk and Seth Rollins, main eventing that Monday Night Raw, because the one thing that CM Punk has yet to get is that WrestleMania main event.
Sure.
But now, forever, you can associate a main event victory on a historic show. It might not be WrestleMania, but then
sure, damn, felt like it.
Right, and so
the booking was the booking.
Yeah, Yeah, and so when he said that, I was like, you know,
Yeah,
what,
'cause
I
we-
didn't even
Let's
think about it as, you know, from that aspect.
Because you
of,
think
know,
about it, you had everything you could think of
Yeah.
happen. John Cena declared for the Royal Rumble.
All the
Mhm.
breaks.
You know, the UFO was put back on Roman. You know, like CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Because I gotta mention it. Hulk Hogan was booed,
Rightfully
but
so.
he showed up. So the thing is, they had Hulk Hogan there, right?
And like he winced. I feel like he truly didn't expect that reaction. I
Yeah.
really feel
I
like
felt bad for Jimmy Hart though.
he tried.
I feel like there
a true
was
damn
there was a
professional.
small
he
cheer.
kept it going. He kept that.
There was
that
a
fiery
small
dumpster
cheer
rolling
right
down
in the beginning.
Yeah.
I think that was for him. 'Cause then it was a straight boo.
No, I think it's this. If you're a wrestling fan, the music of Hulk Hogan will always stand in your heart.
Yeah.
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 Always stand in your heart. But Hogan won't. And he lived long enough to be a villain.
And the thing is, it's hard to separate Terry Bollea from Hulk Hogan.
Because you showed up, but the problem is,
Yeah.
you perform as Terry,
Yeah.
or you go and do things as Terry, but you
Yes.
still use Hulk
So there's
Hogan.
no line.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
The
so
line
you
is
still
skewed.
need the name.
I don't know you by your regular name. I know you as Hulk Hogan.
But even when he shows up, they say Hulk Hogan.
Now, like I
So-
know Triple H is Paul of like
I separate
CM Punk
the two.
is Phil Brooks.
I
Like,
separate
yeah.
the two. I now separate Undertaker from Mark Calloway. I now separate.
because they
I
they
now
have,
separate.
yeah.
But Hogan doesn't do that.
Nope.
He doesn't do that.
Ugh.
He doesn't turn Hogan off.
Yeah, no.
And there's somebody else who doesn't turn their.
He is the embodiment of wrestling is life.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
know who doesn't turn their persona off,
Mhm.
and he shouldn't ever?
Mhm.
The Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Mhm.
He has to be Ric Flair all the time, and I've met Ric Flair, good guy. And I've said this on our podcast. So if you don't know, and this is a surprise, I tried the Ric Flair strand, and it was good. All right, so back to Raw.
How about Real American? Was that she was acting?
I'm not trying that.
I had to,
How hellish is that for me? But
I had to ask. I had to ask.
I mean,
Not anymore.
I don't even drink, so.
No, like how? I mean, but here's the thing: if you're gonna try a product, you want to try the wrestling product. I tried Stone Cold's beer.
Right. I'm not a beer drinker, but if I did, it'd be Stone Cold.
Hey, yo, IPA, baby, yeah, Austin. Hey, you need to pull
But
up.
I feel like you shouldn't drink Stone. Like you have to like
You got to
make
do
a mess with half of it first
Yeah.
and then drink it.
But even if Stone Cold drank only 40% of of the beer, that's still a lot of beer. 'Cause it's
Is
like,
that Broken Arrow?
it's like
Or Broken Skull?
broken skull.
Yeah, bro.
But if he drank 40% of the beer that he used to spill all over the place, he still drunk like 10 beers, y'all. So I don't know how he got back to the locker room.
It's also
Oh,
it's also Sandman's fault that I don't like beer. I went to a WWE show once when I was a kid. Never saw Sandman before at the time because I was a kid. ECW was just starting to come over. I'm just getting into wrestling. No idea. Standing at the barricade cheering. He stands up on it, does his thing, pops open the beer can, does his thing. I ended up sharing a beer with
I got you.
Sandman as a kid,
I
and I was
I
like,
don't know
no,
if it was-
never again.
I don't know if it's beer or water. I can't remember, but it was a TNA event. Rhino spit on us in the front, like first 2 rows, and me and Rhino talked about that. So, full circle, me interviewing him was crazy. Like he spit on me, then now I'm interviewing him. Crazy. Let's talk about week 2 compared to week 1.
Mm-hmm.
I might be like the only one in the room that feels this way, but I feel like
Probably are.
week 2 sucked compared to week 1.
Blasphemy.
Here's why. I'm gonna give you 2 reasons. I'm over Finn Balor. I just don't feel like he has it anymore to draw me in, and I feel like you could have did something else with Damian Priest because I feel like Damian Priest got it, but I just feel like Finn Balor doesn't have it anymore.
I
Unfortunately,
mean, that's probably why he lost. Cause, you
Yeah.
know.
but
Man, I think you feeling like he doesn't have it means he's doing a damn good job.
I just don't think he has it character-wise for me anymore. And then the other thing,
He's
but the other thing for me was I just feel like y'all put a lot of bags on week 1. John Cena pulled a lot of tricks. So week 2, I wanted some tricks. At least one. Like, I was thinking of 3, 4 they could have pulled. I was like, where's Charlotte Flair?
That's the Marvel effect.
Pull a Charlotte Flair.
That's
you know
the
what I'm saying?
that's the
Pull
Marvel
somebody.
effect.
But I was
because
Charles.
there's so many people who are geared to come back.
Yeah, so I digress. I digress.
You know what I mean by that's the Marvel effect?
What?
The Marvel effect now is we expect that after a movie, there's going to be an after credit scene. Now we expect
But
it.
this is week 2. This is a whole nother movie.
It doesn't matter.
It's a whole nother movie.
You're proving the point. Just because it's a whole nother movie doesn't mean it has to have.
Speaking of Marvel,
no. Let me. It doesn't mean that it has to have an after credit scene. You wanted it that way because you're so used to when WWE does do something big, they pull out all the stops, and you felt because it's on Netflix, they have to keep pulling out the stops every week.
Not in this era.
No.
I get it, but it's
yeah.
Netflix is new, and I feel like the first couple weeks you should.
Yeah, but it's a Paul Levesque era.
But again,
Yeah.
I was because we're in Warrior Rumble
But the
season.
thing is, I don't think Paul Levesque gives a crap what people think.
Paul Levesque is Dan Campbell on the 4th down.
He's gonna go for the 4th down every time.
But that's it.
I feel like he didn't take any risk with the second episode.
Even with that Penta match.
Penta, we all knew that's who was gonna be.
And
But
his daughter made that moment in that match
His daughter,
even better.
That's probably the only thing that
doesn't matter.
Let me say this.
That just shows you the significance
let me say this.
of it being
it's
on
the only thing in the
Netflix.
episode that I was attached to because of how I cook with Houston. It's the only thing in 3 hours. It's the only thing in 3 hours.
Can I ask you something? How many people are on this planet?
It's billions of people.
Right, so, and then how many people watch wrestling?
Probably
2 million?
2 million.
I want you to realize
200
something.
million maybe?
Prior
Amongst all the wrestling?
Prior to WWE going to Netflix, WWE's reach was 1 billion people. WWE's reach prior to Netflix was 1/8 of the human population. And now that it is on Netflix, what do they have to prove?
You're right.
They have to prove nothing. So because you didn't like something does not mean there isn't going to be 1,000 other people. You're not wrong, but that goes to, I don't think they have to go big or go home on every show, even in the first couple of weeks.
I got you.
Because they're there.
But with that said, you may have a point. We're going to hear from Annie when we come back from these messages. Welcome back to the Ring Review. We have King Midas.
What it do?
And the one and only Annie O'Neil. Annie O'Neil, before we went to break, we started talking about Netflix comparison 1 to the second week. So, what are you thinking?
Well, I thought the transition to Netflix was absolutely astounding. All of the stops were pulled out, and I think, one thing that WWE is really focused on right now is creating moments that last a lifetime, and I think that was perfectly exemplified on week 1. But if you build everyone watching up on such a high that inevitably it has to come back down. The plane has to, lower in altitude, and I think the pace given on week 2, I think it's absolutely what it needed to be. Sooner or later, we're gonna have to get to the weekly normal episodes of Monday Night Raw, and I think, but I do understand what you're saying. Like, there could have been a little more. Mm-hmm. So we went from up here, and then we're all the way down
there. Yeah. I feel like you guys.
I think you hadn't even spoken on the biggest injustice from week 2.
What's that?
The biggest injustice. King Coda should have won. Lyra, I love you, but no. Kofi Mania.
I'm gonna say this.
I'm standing on it, 10 toes down.
I feel like she did a lot for this company. She showed a lot of resilience to come back after the injuries. I think it was a missed opportunity to thank her.
Well, I appreciate you, Dakota. So if you ever need a manager, call your boy. I got to go to touch. Look, real talk, everybody who I've managed so far has become a champion. Look, I'm
That's
just
true,
saying.
though. The pattern doesn't lie.
I'm just saying.
I just think that if they want to get it right, what you need to do is put this title on her at some point in time. Maybe, I'm sorry, it has to be a short reign for the inaugural champ because what?
And I think it was clearly early on the program was set up around Lyra.
Yeah.
I don't see the hype behind it now, but also I don't understand what the booking is trying to accomplish.
You killed the lore for me.
I don't Lyra doesn't hit for me. Like, she has an interesting skill set. I like her gimmick. I like what she does. And for the first time on the second week of Monday Night Raw, she connected with the fans in ways she hasn't had before. There's potential there, but I don't think it was wasn't the outcome that I would have gone for, but I knew it was going to be Lyra.
I honestly do, and this is nothing towards Lyra, but I'm just at the point where I was in Kofi Kingston's case, where I was in Tamina's case. Why haven't they gotten, championship-wise, the credit that they deserve? Because Dakota Kai has been working hard, overcoming every single misstep that has happened in her career without missing a beat.
I'll say this. Get it right, because you still get it right. That's
Hey,
what I'm praying y'all get it right, because she need that title.
We
right.
had Kofi Mania.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of had Tamina Mania, because she won the titles with Natalya at the Rumble.
So
hey, it's Dakota Mania time.
Failure is a hell of a motivator.
Yeah.
Let's do this. What do you rate week 1? What do you rate week 2? 1 to 10 scale.
I'm gonna give it a solid 9.
That's 1? Week 1?
Mm-hmm.
What about week 2?
I'm gonna give it a warm 6.
See? What about you, Mike?
10 across the board. I got enjoyment out of both.
Alright, so
I really did.
I'm a 9.5-ish.
I couldn't stand the main event of week 2.
Yeah, I'm a 9. Me either.
And I'll tell you the point in time where it lost me.
What was that?
It was after Damon Priest delivered a broken arrow to Finn Balor, and then moments later, Finn Balor was walking.
Oh yeah. Finn Balor doesn't have it anymore.
I see why I was stuck on something else.
Sure.
I was stuck on how y'all gonna break the announce to the table on Monday Night Raw now. That's what I was thinking about a lot during the night. That's a valid question. Like,
I don't think they will.
Are we not gonna get broken announce tables on Monday Night Raw anymore?
They brought tables out, so I think we'll get tables. We're not gonna get that beautiful table being broken.
Right, because that's a lot of
the collapsible table.
And plus they needed something strong since Pat McAfee always be up there. Yeet. And here's another reason why
I love that stupid meathead in commentary.
Here's another reason why
No,
Raw will always be a 10 out of 10 from me.
Yeah.
Hearing Michael Cole be this happy.
Okay, speaking of this, Pat
McAfee
said to Michael Cole, and I quote, "Relax, Michael Cole. You don't beat first," and I died. I died when he told him to get on beat, bro.
Yeah.
I died.
No, because you probably didn't see what I saw, because like as he was saying that, I think it was the drone was like, I think it had just went past him and it was behind him, and you could see Michael Cole. He was
He was trying
and then he said it
so hard.
And then he was like, and then that's why the next week he was like, I'm sitting down for this one.
Yeah, right, because he's not about to embarrass himself.
And you see, this is
Wait, let her say it out loud so we can make that a meme. Go ahead, one more time.
Oh, I said the unseasoned chicken of a human being that is Michael Cole.
We love you, Michael Cole.
Yeah, Michael.
Lovingly, but he knows it's true too, so it's okay. I can say it.
Like this is one of the reasons why I think also it got 10s for me across the board is because I'm someone that no matter what, if something can like attach to me anywhere in what I'm watching, and connect it, for me it was the Penta and Dakota Kai. For me, that means the whole card because the pacing and everything, like it just all together just made that entire product.
So I get
better.
you.
So I'm weird in that aspect.
We all had great points to what we thought.
But I will say this though, there's another aspect to this that neither any of us have brought up, and I don't think many people may have even explored this. But after Raw last week, I started going through, the stuff that they had on Netflix for WWE.
And now they have all these different things.
Yeah, and one of the cool things that I saw was, not everybody, but there's a large chunk in different categories like legends, there's women, men, whatever. But it has like 3-4 minute videos introducing those wrestlers, so it's a lot of the bigger names.
And the typical wrestling fan, how long have they been fans?
Exactly.
So it's a cool. It's cool to give people who are not wrestling fans a curated experience.
Mm-hmm. No, I think hold on. And then they have other stuff where it's like, here's someone like the best tag team matches or best feud. Really so like what they did, and this is another reason why I'm saying I'm giving Raw this too, is because as a whole, what WWE has done to welcome in new wrestling people, because I have seen so many videos on TikTok of the past week, 2 weeks of people talking about, man, I've never watched wrestling before, but because of what I saw, there's women, I never saw Roman Reigns before, so there's a whole subset right. So
like if the trends come back every 25 years, like those jeans that all of these young girls are wearing now, those need to go back to 1998.
You know what?
But wrestling is coming.
Exactly.
Is it cool to be wrestling?
What I will say this about wrestling is, it's a cultural thing, and people love for it to connect to them and make it relatable to them. And with that being said, you have to understand that they do pay attention. Like Paul Levesque, thank you very much. You're paying attention to the fans. You're giving us what we want. Because I don't know how many times in the last year we say we want this, and then and then
he's also saying no.
He's saying no to things we want too, but mainly to the things we want with people who can tell the story. So
I'm going to tell you why I feel like wrestling is such a cultural phenomenon now. I believe Denmark just opened up their very first wrestling promotion, like independent wrestling promotion in Denmark. And then I forget which country on the continent of Africa is in, but there is like this, I believe it's a federation, but it's like a group of people, they wrestle, but there's no ring, it's just like in a giant mud pit.
No, I love
but
it.
They have the ropes, and then they
sent them a ring, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Cody sent them a ring.
But it could be, but like that's how much of a difference it is. And then for years, I've seen videos of these guys that they aren't wrestlers; they're just really good at flips and stuff. But they'll go in the public and do wrestling moves and have wrestling matches, just impromptu matches, randomly in public, safe.
Yeah.
And like that's the reach that wrestling has now, to where people love it so much is they're just going out.
And not to be cliche, but now that's wrestling.
Yes.
Yo. So
this is the thing.
Yeah.
I said it. Listen. So look, check it out. I'm going to give my rating real quick. We're going to give you our handles. We're going to tell you guys to join us again. Annie, you will be back, correct?
Absolutely.
Annie's going to come back. Hey, okay, here's a spoiler. Annie may be joining us here in season 5. I don't know. We'll see. But here's the thing. I'm going to rate week 1 9.5, and I'm going to rate week 2 5.5 for me. Get back to doing something. And no more Finn Balor. Sorry. But
he just signed a longer contract.
I don't know how. But
because he does everything and he makes everything.
We need Finn to
thing
turn
is
down
Finn, he
into a
needs
face.
He needs a
Yeah.
faction
Because
around
it's coming.
him, though.
Look,
He's a
no.
faction guy.
Look, y'all got to realize what's coming. Face Dirty Down, look. Because that's going to be like Face Eddie.
well, here's what I think.
I got a feeling we about to get like a Face Eddie.
What I want to see,
Down.
see is this. I want to see Rey Mysterio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go heel with his son.
Yes.
With
yes.
his son,
Yes.
and they go against Penta, and you can get Rey Phoenix.
I was figuring out in my head how we'll inevitably get Rey, Phoenix, and Penta
together as baby.
and how we can do
against a Dom and Rey
Exactly.
heel.
How can we
I said
do
it.
that?
Do it.
But
Yo,
how can they
not only
how can
that-
they team up together again?
Yeah, that's how.
I wonder
heel Rey
if
Mysterio.
it may happen sooner rather than later because apparently, like, Tony Khan is punishing
I heard
Ray.
that.
Like,
I
no, you
heard
can't buy
reports
his
of that.
merch. He's not going to use it. It's just like he's doing worse than what. At least the other guy would put the shirts on sale eventually.
Yeah, no, so let's do this. We're saying it, the Ray Review saying it, with Annie O'Neil. We want to see a healed Rey Mysterio.
Heard it here first.
Without the mask. Why not? It's the end of his career.
I mean, because
Interesting.
and
The plot thickens.
to be fair, he did recently give permission to. He did like a small interview. I think the day that
he
Raw
was outside of an arena without the
without
mask.
the mask doing a full on interview, and he said you can use this.
So, Rey Mysterio, no mask, healed.
Because to
Pull
be
up.
fair, now that we got Dragon Lee and Penta,
Yeah. Who could?
we could stand to have Ray do.
Now, Dom could do this.
You know,
I'm healed. But who do you taught me? Who do you think taught me
because
these?
no. All he has to do is revert it back to the original LWO
Yeah.
when he take the.
Yeah, let's go.
Look.
Let's go. I think that is
Because Zelina
it.
Vega need to be
Yo,
here again too.
We're going to be back for another episode. Tune in. We got some other things coming up. I want to say this. Tune in to CCW over there at CCW Studios. You can see these 3 individuals here, there, and there, wherever. But I'm Mission Smith. Tell them how they can get to you, Annie.
I'm on Facebook at Annie O'Neil, and I'm on Instagram at Annie. Are you okay?
And
King Midas. You can find me at The Golden Empire on Facebook and on Instagram, The Golden Empire of King Midas. Don't forget to put underscores in between the words.
This is the Ring Review. We'll see you next time.
Stay golden.